I didn't even know what Rex Tillerson sounded like. All I did is read his resume. So to see him sit there for 500 hours straight and answer all these questions was pretty impressive.
That guy has some good hair. Hey, Rudy Giuliani joins us live, and we've got an exclusive right now. It started about 5 or 6 days ago.
Well, a little more than that. Last week, the president-elect decided that he wanted to bring in, on a regular basis, the people in the private sector, the corporate leaders in particular, and thought leaders in the private sector who are working on security for cyber, because we're so far behind. Mm-hmm. And it's his belief, which I share, that a lot of the solutions are out there. We're just not sharing them. It's like cancer. You know, there's cancer research going on all over the place. You'd almost wish they'd all get together in one room and maybe we'd find a cure. And my belief is, as always, that the answer to cybersecurity is going to be found in the private sector.
Yep.
That's where we have the great creativity. That's where we have the huge amount of money. And that's where we have these great companies, the greatest in the world. So the idea here is to bring together corporate leaders and their technological people. President will meet with them on an ongoing basis, as well as anybody else in the administration.
And who's going to head this up?
Well, I'll coordinate the whole thing. I'll get the people in, make sure the meeting takes place, make sure they get the information from the private sector. So it'll do a couple of things. First of all, it'll give the government all the information available in the private sector. Number two, it'll form a little more connection between these people who are doing cybersecurity so they can work with each other. Some of them, if you put 1 and 2 together, you can end up with 6. I mean, I go to El Alam a lot, for example, in Israel. Tremendous research in cyber defense in El Alam. Now, we don't get the benefit of that over here. So hopefully we'll go even beyond the United States, and we'll go to some of the places of our allies who are also doing cyber defense, because Rex Tillerson is absolutely right. Rex Tillerson was absolutely right yesterday. He probably said it as directly as a Texan says anything, and that's what I liked about him. He's such a direct guy. He said, we basically don't have a cyber defense. But that's ridiculous. We should have a cyber defense.
No,
there are cyber defenses.
So just to recap, today at 10:15, the formal announcement is going to take place that you're going to be heading up a committee in the White House, cybersecurity group in the White House.
Right.
That's going to. Now, are you guys going to be on a timeline to produce something?
No, it's going to be basically it's going to be to have meetings with him and to produce for him what they're doing, so that he and the people in his administration get to see what the private sector is doing in an organized way.
Sure.
But there's a secret part of it, too. I don't mean secret like top secret. But the sort of other benefit from this is to get them together.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
To get them in the same room, because I know if I can get them in the same room, because I work with some of them, and they start talking to each other, they're going to come up with even better solutions. Here's what happened to us. Our acquisition of information got way ahead of our ability to defend it. So let's think of it as a football game.
Right.
Our offense is here, and our defense is here. We got to do what the Giants did last year. We got to invest in our defense so we can catch up.
Right.
Now, maybe we'll make a Super Bowl in 1 year, but we may be there next year.
Yeah, but just don't give up a Hail Mary at the end of the half and expect to win a playoff game. But that's more on that later.
Sunday.
Yes. Watch the back of the end zone.
Don't be nasty. Don't be.
You're talking about the press conference.
I forgot that one.
You're talking about the press conference today. Yesterday, he had a press conference at Trump Tower. There were about 250 journalists in the room. He's not happy with some of them. CNN and BuzzFeed for reporting what he's calling fake news. This is him with one of the CNN reporters.
Since you're attacking us, can you give us a question? Mr. President-elect.
Go ahead.
Mr. President-elect, since you are attacking our news organization, can you give us a chance? You are attacking our news organization. Can you give us a chance to ask a question, sir?
Go ahead.
Sir, can you state, Mr. President-elect, can you state categorically, Mr. President-elect, can you give us a question? You're attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude.
Can you give us a question?
I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Sir,
go ahead.
Can you...
The reason he said they were fake news is because CNN said that Trump was given a 2-page intel report on Friday. Trump was never given the 2-page report.
Yeah, and the report is garbage.
Apparently it was mentioned in passing.
And it's clear the report is garbage. I mean, the guy they have in Prague is the wrong guy. The guy they had in Prague was actually in the United States.
And accusing him of some pretty salacious stuff.
A different Cohen accusing him of awful stuff. The man who I happen to know really well, he's a great guy and a great lawyer, was with his son who was doing a baseball tryout. He's a his son is a very good baseball player.
USC.
He was doing a baseball tryout. They said he was in Prague. Not only wasn't he in Prague, If you look at his passport, he's never been in Prague.
Right.
The thing was a total phony. The piece of paper was a total phony. The reporting on it leaked out of what's supposed to be surrounded by top security. It was never part of it. So I don't know how you could describe it other than a totally phony story intended to malign him and to make it look like somehow the Moscow has stuff on him they can extort him with. Now, first of all, I got to tell you something about Donald Trump. You can't extort him. I don't care what you're going to write about him, what you're going to say about him. He's going to do what he believes is right. This is ridiculous what these news organizations are doing. And CNN for quite some time has been way off the charts in the way they
especially since he got elected.
Way off the charts. So look, the press may be a little sensitive about that, but I would feel the same way if they did that to my reputation.
Well, here's the thing. CNN said that he was given a 2-page intel report. He was not. The information, many have connected the dots, obviously came from the intel community. Last night, James Clapper, the guy who is the director of national intelligence, actually talked to Trump on the phone, said this evening. I spoke with President-elect Trump to discuss the recent media reports about our briefing last Friday. I expressed my profound dismay at the leaks that have been appearing in the press, and we both agreed that they are extremely corrosive, and it goes on, damaging to national security.
Now, President Obama was concerned about the leaks from the national security. Remember all the investigations he started on it? I mean, so this isn't like a big surprise that there are leaks from the national security community, or maybe. We've had it before. President Trump is not the first one to complain about it.
But they are a crime.
Okay,
it is a crime.
Of course, it's a serious crime. What he has to do and what he is going to do is, in a few days, there's going to be a new leadership, and I think you're going to see that thing straightened out. I think with proper leadership, this doesn't happen.
If Coates and Pompeo get through, and they'll be in charge. But here's going to be interesting.
I know Dan Coates really well.
Just your opinion.
Senator Ambassador, and Pompeo's tough as nails, and it isn't going to happen under Donald Trump.
Mr. Mayor, there's a lot of people who believe that the leaks, a lot of people say, okay, it's got to be the Trump organization or it's got to be the White House. But there's a sense now that it's coming, and the indications were during the press conference that maybe Donald Trump believes it's coming from Barack Obama's intelligence unit, and maybe that was, I feel bad that it is coming from our guys conversation. What do you think?
I think there's a lot of interpretations here. Here's the thing. Shouldn't come out.
Still a crime.
It shouldn't come out. It's a crime. And not only that, it shouldn't come out if it was true, which would be terrible if it was true.
Right.
It's not true. It's a totally phony, made-up plant that somebody in our intelligence community didn't bother to investigate. They didn't bother to figure out if it was the right Mr. Cohen or not. I mean, that's got to tell you something about
but Rudy,
competence.
The Wall Street Journal says it's a guy named Chris Steele who can't be caught up to. And they said one of the people who looked at this dossier, the 2-page, the dossier,
dirty dossier,
yeah, who looked at it, said that it is, if the CIA had this, they would know it's false because it's too perfect. It's as if someone made it up.
Yeah, well, somebody did make it up.
Sure. And they released it the day before his big press conference. Do you think timing had anything to do with that?
It had a lot to do with it, and the other thing is, no other news organization went with it, and only CNN went with it.
This is how into it CNN was.
Every other one said, no, this is garbage.
New York Times said no, Washington Post.
And they don't like it, and they don't like him very much.
CNN does a farewell address. The first show that comes on afterwards, they go, yeah, goodbye, Barack Obama. Now let's talk about the Donald Trump story. And they put aside the president's farewell address on CNN to talk about this.
All right, let's talk about everything that's happening yesterday with Congress, and they were grilling Jeff Sessions. They've been doing that for the last 2 days. Yeah. Yesterday, Cory Booker, his fellow senator, who has said positive things about him and worked together with him in the past, he said this. He was grilling him. Listen to this.
Some of my many colleagues are unhappy that I am breaking with Senate tradition to testify on the nomination of one of my colleagues. But I believe, like perhaps all of my colleagues in the Senate, that in the choice between standing with Senate norms or standing up for what my conscience tells me is best for our country, I will always choose conscience and country. Senator Sessions has not demonstrated a commitment to a central requisite of the job, to aggressively pursue the congressional mandate of civil rights, equal rights, and justice for all of our citizens.
He's for unequal rights and no justice.
I know a lot more about Jeff Sessions than he does. He doesn't even know him. Jeff Sessions was a U.S. attorney when I was Associate Attorney General. Whenever we would appear with Donald Trump, he'd introduce me as his boss. I was his boss for 2.5 years in the Justice Department when I was the third-ranking official in the Reagan Justice Department. He's talking about the wrong guy. Jeff Sessions is fair. He's open-minded. This is a man who has prosecuted Klan members. This is a man who sought the death penalty for a Klan member. I don't know if Cory Booker ever did that.
Cory Booker is being political.
And there is nothing prejudiced, racist. If you want to meet a fair and decent man, you're not going to find a better person than Jeff Sessions.
This has never happened, though, before.
And he has proven his bona fides by prosecutions, including desegregation cases. So I don't know what they want from the guy. Maybe it's the fact that he has a Southern accent. I don't know. But this is prejudice. What they're doing to him is prejudice of the worst kind.
Why would Cory Booker do this?
He wants to run for president.
Of course.
I see it as a complete political act. Look, I supported, and then was very disappointed, I supported Loretta Lynch on the theory that the president should get the attorney general he wants, and she was a competent U.S. attorney, and I knew her as a U.S. attorney. I didn't know she was going to go meet with President Clinton on an airplane at the time. Probably wouldn't have if I knew that. But in any event, I believe you give the president his choices unless they're bad people. This guy is far from a bad person. This is a really good person. The incidents they're talking about are jokes, some of which he says didn't even happen. Right. And we're talking about 20, 30 years ago. And in between, he's got a prosecutorial record that anyone would be proud of, including any civil rights leader.
I think we know where you come down on him. Rudy Giuliani.
And Tillerson did a great job yesterday.
Rudy Giuliani today
great job.
Is going to have a press conference. He's going to head up a cybersecurity group for the president-elect, soon to be the president of the United States. Rudy, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for breaking the news here.
Yeah,
thank you.
Here.
Well, you guys are great.
All right.
Thank you.
We would agree.
You're friends. You're friends.
You're welcome. Many time here, too. Coming up, while you were sleeping, Republicans took the first step to repeal and replace Obamacare. So what did they do and what happens next? We will explain.
And Donald Trump tweets to the country, but what happens when he tweets you personally? One woman just found out. That story next.
I feel your love, boom, clap.